Hi everyone, and welcome back to Ho Tanta Passione. Yesterday, day 9 at the US Open, and so many interesting things happened. I have to say that this fourth Grand Slam of the year is probably showing us a lot of very interesting matches push to the deciding set, either the third for the women or the fifth for the men. But before talking about the results that just we witnessed yesterday, some of them quite incredible, I just would like to point out that yesterday Juan Martín del Potro was in New York. He was waving at the crowd, and also at one point he was hitting some balls with John McEnroe. It's a fantastic news to see Del Potro, and after when he was interviewed, he said exactly, this is the toughest match of my career because I cannot deal with these kind of injuries, this pain that I have now. But I'm still trying and trying. So the tour definitely is missing you, Juan Martín del Potro. I know you went through a lot of injuries and surgeries, but I really hope you be able to be back in 2022 like you said that you really hope. But now, just moving to what we witnessed and some of the results, I was making this consideration. Probably this US Open will be remembered as the tournament where these teenagers or new generation is probably rising, because yesterday Leylah Fernandez, who turned 19 just on the 6th of September, I will definitely remember her birthday since falls on my parents' wedding anniversary. Is incredible. She was turning 19 and my parents were celebrating a 44-year of wedding anniversary. So congratulations to both of them. But joking apart, I'm very, very impressed by the personality of this very young, talented player. Probably like Naomi Osaka, there are a few things in common if you consider Fernandez as an Ecuadorian father, Filipino mother, and she was born and raised in Canada. Instead, we all know that Naomi Osaka, Haitian father, Japanese mother, raised in the United States. First of all, I love lefty players, so probably it's not a coincidence that I got into this player and I decided, to follow her matches. I just would like to remind you that she won and she defeated in 3 sets in a row Naomi Osaka, Kerber, and just yesterday Elina Svitolina. And what a match! She won the opening set 6-3. She lost the second with the same score, but in the third, in the deciding set, even if she was leading 5-2 and after Svitolina managed, to level the score and push the young Canadian player to the tiebreak, I have to say that she played a tiebreak like a veteran. She was leading 4-1 after the score went on 5-4 in her favor, and probably I know she was a little bit lucky with that kind of a forehand down the line that hit the net and gave her basically the first, not only match point that she needed basically to win and celebrate. So at this point, the dream is still on for Leylah Fernandez. Of course, the crowd is completely crazy about her. Also, she seems so spontaneous and genuine even during her interview on court, just at the end of the match. And I was making as well this consideration. Since 2014, 6 different players from Canada, 3 men and 3 women, reach at least a Grand Slam semi-final. In this order, Bouchard, Raonic, I think Raonic even played the Wimbledon final where he lost against Andy Murray, and after the Australian Open semi-final as well losing against Andy Murray. After we had Bianca Andreescu, who a couple of years ago won in the final here at the US Open against Serena Williams. This year at Wimbledon, Shapovalov was defeated by Novak Djokovic, and by the way, I was there on center court, so I remember that match very well, and Dennis played amazing for the first 2 sets, and even the final score was not showing the real level of his tennis. Also, yesterday, Fernandez, now in the US Open semi-final, her next opponent, Sabalenka, who defeated in the 2 straight sets Krajcikova, the Roland Garros champion, and as well for the men, Auger Aliassime, I believe he's only 21-year-old, yesterday defeated Carlos Alcaraz, another very young, talented, new emerging player, 18-year-old from Spain. The Spanish player was pushed basically to retire in the second set. He lost the first 6-3 and it was a 3-1 due to, I believe, an injury to his left leg. He was already showing kind of a lot of bandage. Apparently said, when I started the match, I had a little bit of pain, but after it was getting even worse, so there was no point in carry on. But I believe that we're going to see Carlos Alcaraz more times on this level. So what can I say? On one side, I was quite worried. And I don't know what would happen without the big 3, but probably the fact that we have so many promising young players, it's fantastic for the sport and for all of us who love tennis. So as well now, Aliassime will play in his first Grand Slam semi-final on Friday against Daniil Medvedev. Daniil Medvedev yesterday won in 4 sets. He lost his first set so far in the tournament, but he seems on fire, and I have to say probably he's definitely the favorite to reach the US Open final. For the Russian player, it's his 3rd consecutive semi-final in New York. So let's see what's going to happen. Today as well, we're going to have some very interesting matches. The other 2 women's quarter final. We're going to start with Emma Raducanu, that, by the way, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but she was born in Toronto, in Canada. But she's a British player, only 18-year-old. She will turn 19 in November. She reached the 4th round this year at Wimbledon. I have to say, I love her smile. I love how she's kind with the fans at the end of her matches, taking selfies, signing autographs, and it's fantastic to see such new faces that as well keep, very low profile. For her, a quite tough challenge. In fact, she's going to play against Bencic. Bencic won the gold medal at the Olympics in Tokyo this year. She was quite focused and I have to say quite impressive in her last 16 match against Iga Swiatek. So for sure she's the favorite, but who knows? Everyone is probably dreaming for a final between Emma Raducanu and Leylah Fernandez. But let's see. I think for her today is definitely a very tough match. And also we're going to have Pliskova against Maria Sakkari. Sakkari, who defeated in 3.5 hours Bianca Andreescu just yesterday. her match, their match finished so late that it was quite funny when she was apologizing with the crowd, saying, thank you so much for staying until the end. I hope tomorrow you're not going to be late at work and you're going to have, some additional hours of sleep. So in terms of prediction, probably I think Bencic is a favorite against Raducanu and Pliskova against Sakkari, but who knows? I hope to be wrong. And also we're going to have the men's top half quarterfinals. They're gonna start on around 6:15, I think, UK time. Harris, the South African, who reached basically the quarterfinal, the first one since Kevin Anderson in 2017 against Alexander Zverev. For sure is going to be a more challenging match. I have to say the South African player seems quite on fire. It's not a coincidence the fact that he defeated Rafa Washington ATP 500, and also we are going to have, to close the day, a big blockbuster, Novak Djokovic, the world number one, against the Italian Matteo Berrettini. The match will start around 2:30 a.m. I don't know if I will be able eventually to set the alarm clock and watch probably the second part of the match. I have to see. I'm aging as well. So otherwise I'm going to record the match. As you can see, we're witnessing a very interesting Grand Slam. I think probably we're going to have more surprises, so stay tuned on 80 Passione. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and see you soon. Ciao!